Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
I hope that you're clicking over. We're gonna make this some type of chain bracelet, right? So, okay, in any case, when I'm away from you, I am doing your due diligence. I am taking care of me and you, and I am, researching and finding out as much things as possible before I speak on things. And, I'm also taking care of my own life, but I'm making sure that I have all my information before I come to you and say something that's not necessarily correct, or the things that are interesting to you as well as me. I have to get all the information before I present it to you in my way or my opinion. So first I have to say is, my apologies to my family. And why? Because I stopped cooking. Here we go. This is definitely a blog on our foods, right? Not in detail, but what I realized first was I stopped cooking. I realized this because I was watching your documentaries, and we're talking about food and health and, getting fit and all of that other stuff. And I'm not going to tell you I'm big on getting fit anymore because I had some extenuating circumstances probably a couple years back that have kind of just changed some things. But normally, yes, you get off track. You start not working out the same. You start not using your yoga mat. I know my kid wrote all over my yoga mat since I've been different. So it doesn't get the same use. You're not doing Pilates for a million reasons. I can't get up off the floor. The floor is hard. I have carpet. I have no excuse. But I understand why you need different food situations or different reasons that you're not doing the same things. But we don't have an excuse because we're very young. I'm only 40 something. I have no excuses besides, like I said, some extenuating circumstances from a couple of years ago. But for those, I get it. The food situation is a bit much. It's not working anymore. I know that even if I could get on my treadmill, and let me speak on that treadmill really quick. This is a side note. People, just skip this if you need to. There are treadmills, which I have one, that have no cords, and that's when you're gonna have to push yourself a little harder. And I always remembered after there's a boxer named Mike Tyson who had an incident, and he lost his child because it was electric treadmill wouldn't cut off, and it caught the baby up and she passed. So I always, knew to get a treadmill without a cord. There are them without the cords, and you're just going to have to apply yourself a little more, and push a little harder, but it's all for the cause, right? It works. You can get into eating different things. Get on top of it now. So I found that, it wasn't working. What am I eating? What is affecting me that I'm this young? I'm too young to have these things going on. I know what's in my family history. It is not a given right that you're automatically going to get it. Don't feel that because all these other people had it that you have to have it. We are all individual special pieces. Yes, we have some genetics. You have the metal that is used in the pieces for you, you Tiffany pieces. However, you have some little intricate, detailed things that make you special that you don't have to necessarily, if you know you're predisposed to this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to apply this to our lives. We're not going to let this happen, or we're going to fight it as hard as we can because we're strong Tiffany pieces that can be repaired if you take yourselves back to the jeweler and let them repair you and start over. And I kept saying, I haven't eaten this way. I haven't eaten pork in my life since my first son, which was I was 90, he's 91. He's a 91. He was born in 91. He was born in 91. I haven't had pork in my life that long, not voluntarily. If it happened, it was involuntarily. And trust me, I got it deathly sick. Things of that sort. So, I might not have the worms and the bacteria things from that part of my life. Then I took out the beef and I ate it on a need basis, which for women, you may understand what I'm saying. During a certain time, you have this craving for really cheesesteaks or whatever. It's the iron. Those are the reasons that I started eating beef selectively. So I probably eat beef, in all reality, probably 4 times a year. So that's once every 3 months. I started taking things out. I've always done that. So when I saw a change when I couldn't, and I have great willpower, I'm just not going to do it. When I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. So I don't have addictive behavior. But why is the weight not coming off? Why is this not working the same anymore? Those new moms, like I said, you know, young or old, breastfeeding works great. That's what that snapback always was. The first 2, I had great snapback. The second one, the snapback came, but then soon as the snapback got settled in, like that time frame, things start speeding back up, and I'm like, what's going on? It's not working the same. It's what I was eating, and I knew better. I know better, but I'm going to share with you certain things. Listen, Netflix saved my life. Don't get me wrong, I always knew things. I've always had the vegan books, the what was it, beach diet, whatever that, South Beach diet, not because I was dieting, but to remove carbs, because we're predisposed to diabetes. We're predisposed sometimes to heart failure. We're predisposed to high cholesterol, you know, heart attacks. So I kind of knew early to remove certain things. I did the natural thing to keep my skin up. I used to juice everything, and they don't taste good, but they give you recipes. You add what you need to add. So you put in the apple when you're doing an all green. It makes it sweet. You down it. You add some water. You still got what you had to get in. Keep it blowing. But I did my job. My hair, as you see, even at this stage, my hair is extremely thick. My hair was always thick or short. It was long or short, it was thick and beautiful. It's what I was putting in, and I was more on top of it. And things changed, and you start not cooking. I'm not taking care of my family the same. We always had a fast food Friday, but in my house, I had a menu up for as long as I can remember, because a single mom has to have things in order. So me and my children would sit down, you do the menu together, you decide, you know what they like, and you start looking at things. You don't have gravy instantly put in your food because you're putting it over rice, because you've mapped out your meal that you already knew what you were buying. It helps with your budget. You knew what you were cooking. It wasn't an improv. I don't do Hot Pockets. When my kids found out about Hot Pockets at other houses, I was devastated. First of all, those things are nasty. That bread on that Hot Pocket is thick. I don't dig it. It's like us having a patty. If I eat the wrong patty, if the breading is too thick, I'm good. I don't even want it. You know, so those type of things, you can taste it. You know, if it doesn't taste right, if you got to chew too much, that's why I stopped eating meat. If I have to chew this much, my mouth doesn't do all that. My mouth doesn't do all that. If I have to chew that much, if I have to, this big chunk of bread, then that's not natural. Then it's not for you. You shouldn't be doing that. Don't eat that again. It doesn't feel right. I've always followed my instincts. If something doesn't, that's how I got to Georgia, and I'm blooming and more beautiful than ever, and I'm back to myself of being vibrant and so forth, because New York is a cold state. We keep more weight. Then you look at a Californian, and they're skinny, and they're looking a certain way because their life, they don't require as many clothes. They don't require as much blubber. They're not stuck in for portions of a snowstorm hibernating. We're not bears. When I had extenuating circumstances, I found that my body was responding a certain way too early. I'm young. I shouldn't be feeling the weather in my bones. So let's go to a state where I won't be in pain for no apparent reason, being grumpy, being mean, and I got a whole nother toddler to take care of. At the time, she was 2. So I'm going to just deprive my child, which I still have to a certain degree, because you can't get that time back. But I can get me back and have a little bit of peace and able to accomplish all the other things I need to accomplish. If I don't have the weight, if I don't have the baggage, I don't have the constant pain. Listen, people, there is a way to alleviate all of that, and it was diet. It was diet, and I knew better. I knew this. I've known this since my first great friendship and love. Well, I can't say friendship. love, which was my child's father saying, take that pork out of your life. It has a worm in it. It does this to your body. Are you crazy? I loved pork chops and a ham sandwich. But that first introduction to that diet affects you a certain way, and you don't have to have back acne because you're not putting poisons into you, changed my life. That one drop of knowledge introduced me into so many other things. And then you look at the family and they say, well, listen, this person drunk sodas for how many days, you know, for how many points of their life, and then they have this, and then they have that, and then I took another thing out. It's our diet. I'm going to tell you, Netflix saved my life. Again, I say, that Netflix and chill saved my life, and I did it. I did it for you, as well as myself, but for you. If you do nothing else, first, I'm old school. If you're young watching this, there's nothing wrong with digging in the crates a little bit. Do the reference work. There was a movie called Incredible Shrinking Woman. No, it doesn't have all the antics. No, it doesn't have all the head movements and the snapping and, oh, she read you and all of that. It is a simple movie that you're going to have to sit there and maybe find a little bit of comedy in. And the lady, husband, works for a firm. He develops this whatever, something for clothes, or he does different, he works in chemicals. And this stuff comes home. He brings all these products home to his family. The wife uses everything, and in a combination, she starts to shrink. At the end of the movie, she starts to get big, like the giant woman. So that was supposed to be part 2, never happened. But the point still is, it's called Incredible Shrinking Woman, that all of these things that make up our life, and these combinations and these chemicals and this whatever, can affect us in ways that we're not prepared for. They are talking about the environment. How about us? We're not prepared for it. So that's just Incredible Shrinking Woman. Now that's not on Netflix. But then on Netflix, there's a movie called Fed Up. There's a movie called Supersize Me. There's a movie called Food Inc. It's a cow and it has a bar stamp on it. And then there's a movie called Food something. I forgot, because it's just a brown. When you hit the food section, when you get into all of that, those movies, it's going to be one of the options. And it's food something. It's like a brown papyrus. Food market? Food something. But you'll know that's it because it's in that genre. I know these things. I am a 70s child from the peace generation of let it be, no war, stop big corporations and capitalism, fight the machine. So I know all of this. I know that you don't smoke cigarettes. Not even because it gives you cancer. It makes your breath stink and your skin change. I am from that generation. So I knew better than to be putting all those things into my system. And when I tell you people that is all I'm going to give you, is just take a moment. Our generation is from the lecture circuit. You went to school, they taught you to death, you did some reference work when you got home, you went back to school, it's the same as high school. You went back to school, you applied it, but the most part of it, high school is just small lectures, colleges are bigger lectures. And when you move out of college and you're just doing self-development, that's when you hit lecture circuits and you sit there for 2 hours and you have representatives come in and you hear what they have to say because they're still educating you. There is nothing wrong with sitting through a drawn out, sometimes, movie that is going to help you and educate you. And that's all this is. If you never do yourself another favor, take a moment. My Tiffany Box pieces, male and female, and please go watch. If you just hit Supersize Me, it's going to be a guy with a bunch of french fries stuck in his mouth. That was the best picture they could have put up. And in that, once you hit that, then it's going to have a whole bunch of other options. Just start hitting the options. They're only an hour and a half. You're going to feel like I don't want to watch this, but trust me, you're going to need to watch it. If you can't get through these and they're 5 minutes to 15. I don't do up to 17. I don't think I've done anything over 16 minutes. If you can't get through these, this one is going to be long because I'm going to piece it together. If you can't get through this, you're going to have a hard time. And then you're going to understand why your arm is twitching, your ankle is twitching, your veins, you're feeling something in your leg, your eyes twitch every now and then. It may be a sugar issue. Maybe you got too much caffeine. Whatever. Trust me. If you've never done nothing else, if you can go buy yourself something, this is free. Netflix might be anywhere from $8, I doubt it if you're not an old school member, to no more than $8. I don't think it's 18. I don't even know really at this point anymore. That's $20 every month at the most, if you do that. It's $20 every month. That's $240 for the year, but you're going to buy an iPhone. Take a moment, young or old, watch it on your way to work, watch it on your breaks. For the states who let you run your things and you're not supposed to be distracted, put it on, don't look at it, and put it on your Bluetooth and watch it on your screen when you're doing. Some people don't have wash machines. Watch it on your TV in your car. I don't know what you need to do to just like put it on every night on your way to sleep. If you got to watch it all week, that'll be 5 days, different sections of that one movie. And you do that for 4 weeks. That's 4 different movies. Whatever you got to do to get this information. I felt like I hurt my family. I knew better. Not only myself, but then when I realized the bigger, grander scheme of it, you forgot about you. Now you're starting to forget about them. The best thing I could have ever did was have beautiful 2 men in my life. My son's father, and I have a daughter right now who's a toddler who's 4. And both of them had in common, they didn't eat meat. Healthy, beautiful, black skinned men, intelligent, mind not fogged, not a bunch of sodas. Even if their breath always stinks, you know why you're made. And I say that because one ate onions and salmon. That's how he ate his food. Lettuce, rye, or wheat, salmon, onions, and a light skim of mayo. Loved a diner because you could get your sandwich made your way. Like, he was the truth, and he was humongous. 6'4", 240, and wasn't nothing fat on that dude. The next one is beautiful skin, beautiful personality. Their minds are always open, very well educated, quiet, but their bodies are their temples. And it was the best thing that I could have ever kept in my life, or joined as a union and said, we have a like mind, and I don't want to corrupt our children, myself, nor you. I do them a disservice by making boxes of stuffing, these potatoes and all of that. When you're young, our kids are still young, we can do it because we all did it. You can get it out your system. But if you watch these things, just re-educate yourself, and you can remove it also. Get a natural herb book. Listen, you don't want to go in a bookstore anymore. On your tablet, on these funky iPhones, on these whatever they are. And I say funky iPhones, I got a problem because a lot of stuff is made. That's a whole nother thing with certain labor. You wouldn't know this to look at me. Or whatever you're getting across the screen. But I got a major issue with a lot of things. I don't like certain labors. I don't like, I'm a union girl. I don't like this. I don't like... It's the grand scheme of things of all these things that make you up. So everything that's pretty ain't necessarily intelligent because their minds are fogged, and they don't have any type of value system to say, I don't want to affect everything with my one drop in the bucket. That is a self-learned lesson. However, how beautiful can she be when she has no type of anything to process anything in her life? If I found out that the Gap back in the day used to use certain labor, I wouldn't wear it or use it. Have some type of something to get back to you, to take care of you. And that is what I was doing while I was away from you. My Tiffany Box pieces was making sure that I had full knowledge. I don't want to reverbiage everything to you because, one, I know you can't sit here through it. And then secondly, you got to get your own, whatever you need from it. What I need in my diet and my life doesn't necessarily apply to you. So I don't want to do you the disservice of forcing information on you. This is my opinion. I share it with you. You take what you need and you go out into the world and you get the rest of what you need. But this is your basis. This is information. Go watch these documentaries. They're a bit much, but go watch them. Go watch them. Just get back into you. It's nothing wrong. Take the makeup off. You know, if you take the makeup off and you happen to have to look at yourself, then you're going to look at your body because you're going to see that maybe something on your face is too dark. That, you know, for my guys, maybe your eyes are not the right color. Maybe your toenails are dark. A lot of guys have dark toenails. You know, maybe his nails have ridges. When you start to look at all these things and you realize what they're coming from and why you have them, when you take a good look at yourself, things start to change. And then all of that flubber falls off and you get back into you, and maybe you'll look the same as you used to look when you were 20 to 30 or 40. That was my due diligence for you, was to tell you to Netflix and chill. Right? Just because we older don't mean we can't do what they do. We just do it better. You feel me? In any case, people, this was your Tiffany Box Feelings. I'll catch you next week. I'm piecing these videos together. Please enjoy them. Please watch another one. Everything we do right now is from an educational place. It's just a reminder. These are just your little trinkets you need every now and then as a reminder. That's all it is. It's your reminder. That's all it is. It's your reminder. That's all. It's your comfort zone and your reminder. When you need it, go grab it and go back out into that world. See you next week, y'all.